Hi,
Suze. Welcome to Break Candy Podcast, episode 859.
There's one of those loud cars going by outside. You know when the motorcycles do that thing where they could not be louder?
Death penalty.
That is, remember when we were in Chicago and I gave a thumbs down to the guy and then we saw him at the next stoplight and then I kept doing thumbs down and then people cheered for me? That was the best.
I really do feel like I'm against death penalty except in cases of extreme engine noise.
Oh, yeah. How are you, Suze?
Never better.
Really?
No.
No? Just I'm feeling pretty good.
Good.
Yeah.
That's nice. You've had some tough times recently.
I have. Yeah, I didn't share this with you guys last time, but I shared this with Susie off the air that we can't catch a break over here. The other day, I took a little nap on my couch and woke up and my hand was feeling weird. And so I was like massaging it a little bit. It felt like there was like a knot in there. So then I used the Theragun on it. And I think that I don't know, sent a bunch of blood flow to my hand or something. I watched my hand double in size and a spider bite. I was bit by, I assume a spider, so does the doctor. But, and my whole hand just swelled up and it happened to be the same hand with the finger that I broke. So I was thinking what my crazy mind went to was, remember how I joked on here about, and I said this in my physical therapy office. I said, if I were an animal in the wild, I would have already gnawed this thing off by now and carried on, and we joke just amputate it. And then I was like, what if I get bit by some weird funky spider that then makes my hand swell up, it cuts off circulation to that, and then I somehow do have to get it amputated. My mind went to crazy places, so I had to go to the freaking urgent care and get a shot in my butt and get put on steroids.
Why are we spider bite twins?
Yeah, that was so weird.
So
and in my mind, I was like, Susie's going to be like, Sarah, can I just have something?
Stop copying me.
Stop copying me. Yeah.
But but it almost makes me just think like doctors are making shit up. If they're just telling everybody that.
They're just like, yeah, it's probably just a spider bite. But I mean, it was very obviously a spider bite, but it's gone away now. But man, that was like a bizarre, they're like, yeah, you were just real allergic to whatever it was.
What do you think would have happened if you hadn't gone in? It would have been okay?
I think I would have been uncomfortable for a long time. It would have eventually, it was this weird feeling like, I would go through this weird feeling of internal discomfort, not like pain, but and it's not even like an itch. Just, it felt like I wanted to just push on my hand really hard. It felt and shake it or something. It felt weird.
Yeah, because you had venom in there.
Yeah, for 5 minutes, and then it would go away. And then it would do that about every half hour. And then it was stopped after they gave me the Benadryl.
How come there's only anti-venom for snakes? Why can't we have that for
I think they have it for spiders. I think they know what... The ones that are bad. I think this was just one of those situations that I was bit by something or, whatever it was, that's not like a real... She said there's a difference between an infection and an allergic reaction. And if it becomes a venomous infection where it infects your blood and stuff, then we see certain other signs like breathing and temperature change and all that kind of stuff. And she's like, nah, you're just, it was like a in the cartoons where a hammer hits the thumb and it just blows up. What the fuck?
Well, that's why when I messaged my doctor about it and sent her the pictures and then I told her it wasn't itchy, I was just trying to paint the picture.
Right.
And then she was like, okay, well, since it's not bothering you, I think just let it run its course. I was like, I didn't say it's not bothering me. I said, it's not itchy, bitch. I have eyes. It's gross. Yeah. I want it off of my body.
Yeah. And I don't want it there. Yeah. And something's wrong. And then the funny part is when I went to the urgent care, they saw my finger and they're like, are you sure that's okay? I was like, yeah, it's been 6 weeks. I go to physical therapy every week. They're like, when was the last time you had an x-ray? Because I don't know. I'm like, I promise you, I've done 3 x-rays that all the bones are in the right place. It's just, she's like, you've got serious, this looks like a tendon issue. I'm like, yeah, I know.
What is the diagnosis of your water polo injury?
It is called, hold please. It has a fun name. I have something called a finger proximal interphalangeal joint dislocation.
No.
Yeah. Or a PIP joint dislocation.
No.
Where there was trauma caused by the bones to the middle joints of the finger and they become dislodged.
Oh my God. You have broken phalange.
Interphalangeal joint dislocation.
Jeez. Ew. That is grody.
It's
the
super
max.
gross. I know. And it still looks like that.
Is that baby going to be back to normal?
No, I honestly don't think, I don't think so. And then I'm thinking, this is like my ring finger.
I know.
I'm never going to wear a wedding ring on this hand. I'd have to get a clip on.
I think it's a sign.
I know. I think it might be. This is terrifying. I mean, hi.
The universe is saying no more matrimony.
I guess. Jesus. I mean,
I'm sorry.
Any hoodles. What else? Oh, I feel like speaking of relationships and hooking up and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
There's, I never thought I would get into this in the way that I have, but guess what my new obsession is?
Like Love Island or something?
Oh my God, you're close. Love is Blind.
Okay.
I am fascinated by Love is Blind in different countries because it's international. And the one I just finished watching was Love is Blind Habibi, which is oh my God, what is that place? It starts with a D. In the United Arab Emirates.
I don't know.
Dubai. Dubai. They're all in Dubai. And it is so fascinating to learn about dating culture and relationships in different.
What do you learn about Dubai dating?
Well, it's really interesting because it feels like a lot of. Well, you see how there are so many different religions and different ethnic groups out there that have different practices and different so many
values.
Different cultures. Yes. Mm-hmm. And it seems like, at least from, and mind you, this is a white woman from the United States watching what is being fed to me through editors from Netflix and all of that. So that's what I'm getting. But it feels like the young people who are dating now are trying to embrace or hold on to elements and traditions of the past. Yeah. But also stand up for things like women's rights and fight for things like equality in relationships. And there you can see that a give and take, especially in this part of the world.
Wow.
And it is fascinating. It's really interesting to.
What do the guys seem like embracing of this new?
It goes. But you get a mixed bag. There were some guys who were very traditional and kept saying words. The word that was used over and over and over was respect the man, respect the man, respect the over and over. And I was like,
no, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm good.
And that meant one thing for the men and one thing for the women. And one man, spoiler alert, a woman broke it off with him because he wouldn't allow her to dance.
Yeah. Yes.
It's fascinating, Susie. It will blow your mind. It's so worth the watch. It is so interesting to hear what the families say, to just feel that. And a lot of these, you can just tell a lot of the women that have been cast are very well educated, are very financially well off, and have had international upbringings where they've maybe explored outside of just the culture that they were raised in. Mm-hmm. And they're now bringing back these very like worldly views and ideas too.
In my notes, I have this thing about how there was new legislation passed in Afghanistan, new Taliban rules for women.
Oh, no.
And it said that the woman's voice is deemed intimate and so should not be heard singing, reciting, or reading aloud in public. And they are not allowed to play music. And it's what you just said made me think of that, that it is so scary to them to think that like a woman's independent thought or education or even her voice, sometimes her face, her skin, her eyes, whatever, it's so powerful that they must legislate and limit it
and control it. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. And the relationships that were successful were ones where the man was able to have more progressive views and to see his partner as a person, not an object, even though the rituals and ceremonies were so like rooted in the woman being an object that they are handing over.
Well, to undo that,
right? It's fascinating.
We're still doing it over here. It's not like we're so far ahead.
Oh, we're not. That's the whole. That exactly. It's not very. When you watch them back to back, it's not very different.
Unbelievable. Where are you watching that? Netflix?
Yeah.
They have Love is Blind Dubai.
Yeah, Habibi.
And you were like, yes, play.
Yes, play. I played. I went through. Oh my God! I went on a little Love is Blind binge. I did like 3 seasons of the US one because I was like, this is. I don't know why. I understand how it's problematic in many ways.
No, but if you can learn and
that's
get insight from it. I have no
like
judgment.
Taking notes. Yeah.
Not at all. I'm sure that they would not be okay with Thrive Cosmetics and the Habibi conservative
I think the women there would be. They would be big supporters.
Too. And they should be because Thrive Cosmetics is the best. The mascaras, amazing.
It's my favorite. It's the only makeup I'll ever use. And I am really... Here's the thing. A lot of stuff is great now, but now I want to know what else do you do?
What are you doing?
Because
what
we
are you
all
doing
have
for me lately?
We all have the choice to like decide where we spend our dollars and what we're putting towards. And I just have been thinking about that a lot lately. Yeah. And I am really now, I feel like I want to put my money where my mouth is in a way. And I want to buy products from companies that are doing things to give back. And that's one of the things that I love about Thrive Cosmetics is like, I've been thinking about that a lot. That and then I went on their website because I was like, what do they do? And I looked up what they're doing, and they're supporting so many wonderful organizations. Yeah, for women.
Like women's organizations in your community. And when I say Thrive Cosmetics, it's a play on words because cause is spelled like a good cause, CAUSE. But I would say, screw that if their product sucked.
This is true. Yes.
I don't want to sacrifice one for the other.
Very good point.
Yeah. So it's both. They have the Sheer Strength Hydrating Lip Tint, which is amazing. In fact, I was just comparing it. I had this really fancy luxury lipstick, and I was like, oh, I haven't tried that in a while. And I tried it, and I was like, this is not as good.
Okay. I know what one you're talking about, too.
Yes. A fraction of the price, but way better. Thrive Cosmetics Hydrating Lip Tint. And then, of course, like we always say, the mascara is, you cannot check out without getting that. Spice up your fall look with Thrive Cosmetics, luxury beauty that gives back. Right now, you can get an exclusive 20% off your first order at thrivecosmetics.com/braincandy. That's Thrive Cosmetics, CAUSEMETICS.com/braincandy for 20% off your first order. Check out our website also if you forget those codes, thebraincandypodcast.com. They always are there for you.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, I think it's an interesting exploration in relationships around the globe. And I'm really interested to see, some of the other countries. They have, I think Brazil and all over the place. And just dating is different everywhere. And the next city that they do for Love is Blind in the United States is Denver. And I am fascinated. I cannot wait.
Are you going to apply?
No, it's already filmed and done. And
Why
and plus I'm too old. I am beyond the years of.
They have like an upper limit?
I think so, Suze. I think that 38.
I never even thought of that. This is so pathetic.
Suze, I have aged out of reality television. I am now.
This is our rock bottom.
Oh no! It's because please, you have a son who's going to be in high school. I mean that is.
But I'm in denial. Okay.
I know, but I don't have anything to compare it to, so I'm just the same age that I was 15 years ago.
I feel like
now
that too.
Lincoln
though.
is like the mark for us.
Yeah, he's dead.
Shit.
Wait, let's get rid of him.
Yeah, how I don't understand how he could be that old if I have not aged a year.
Sarah, whenever we were doing things we got wrong, and we were having to listen to our early episodes of Brain Candy.
Yeah,
and I was talking about potty training, and he was 2, God.
Yes,
and the sort of whatever you're going through when your child is 2.
Awful.
And I was thinking about that the other day of we are in a very different place.
So
10 years
different.
later.
So different.
It's some's better, some's worse, but you're just in the thick of it. But holy crap, we've been doing this a long time.
We sure have. And I can't even recognize the person that I was back then. I just care about such different things,
Yeah.
I shouldn't
car,
say,
Sarah.
What'd you say?
That car.
Do you hear it?
Yeah, I just heard it.
I swear to God, he's doing fucking laps, and I'm about to go out there and give him a piece of my goddamn mind. I'm this close.
You should hold up a sign or something.
The sign would say not okay. Sir.
Just a thumbs down.
Yeah, a big, huge thumbs down. Do you hear that? Jeez.
Yeah.
And you can almost never hear things. I am so far away from the street, too.
No woman has ever
open.
done that.
No woman. Oh, my God. Could you imagine?
I hate it.
I don't even know what the fuck I was talking about.
I'm so sorry. We were talking about how the passage of time. And
Yeah.
We're different. Blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
Anyway,
actually, that's kind of sort of a segue. Mm-hmm. I read this. This was really interesting. It talks maybe about how time is speeding up in some ways.
What?
So,
God.
Not really. Calm down. Don't jump to conclusions here. It's looking at evolution and almost how evidence. Often we don't get the chance to see evolution happen before our eyes because it's something that takes place over, many generations and time.
A gazillion years, yeah.
Yep. But we are seeing rapid evolution in elephants in Mozambique.
Okay.
And it is pretty fascinating. So researchers were looking at changes in elephants, and you can see this mark after the Mozambique Civil War that happened from 1977 to 1992. When this happened, there was a big change in poaching. And so before that, poaching was a big thing. So you have
is this about their tusks?
Yes.
Yes. Interesting.
Susie. Yes, exactly.
Because if you have big tusks, then you're valuable.
Yes. And this is not just what do you call it when we're just anecdotal evidence?
Yeah.
This is very measurable. We can mark, and they mark this as the pre-war and post-war ratios of females born with and without tusks. So post-war elephant, right?
This is great.
I know. It's fascinating. Finally, an animal fact. And Susie's like, yes, I'm on board. I will not interrupt. I'm going to yes and her animal fact.
Totally.
She's not rolling her eyes.
Okay. Great news.
Right. So post-war elephant population changes. Here we go. Pre-war, there were, in this herd that they were looking at, there were 52 tuskless female elephants that represented 18.5% of the population. Post-war and after devastation from poaching and ivory trade, all of this, and trauma, basically, 108 tuskless females that represent 50.9% of the population. That's a huge change, about 20% to 51%.
Yeah. Yeah.
Big change. And they say it's a direct result of intense poaching during the war. And these tuskless elephants were more likely to survive, obviously, and pass on their genes. And so it was the females that were being born without the tusks. And now you see the genetic explanation for tusklessness, basically.
Yeah, of course.
Happening right in front of us. And this is the interesting thing. No tuskless males were found.
What's that about? What do you mean?
Because they're not the ones who pass on the DNA.
Why?
They're not the one. Well, they are. I mean, but they're not the one. It's like we see the change in the mothers because they're the ones giving birth. A male, it's like they're the incubator and the incubator's changing.
Oh my God.
Isn't that interesting?
I mean, this sounds stupid, but males can have tusks, obviously.
Yes, both.
And so why doesn't their tusky sperm... I guess it does help.
Well, in a way, it sounds like the tuskless is becoming the dominant gene.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because that one survives. And so it takes over. And you need 2 tuskers. Yeah. There you go.
Okay,
and maybe
another stupid question.
None of these are stupid questions. And we are like making it up as we go. What the fuck do I know? Nothing. I don't know. What is this?
Can you... Can you get ivory another way, or is that like...
Oh, I think that's it.
Okay, well, no wonder it's so valuable. I mean, it's very rare.
I mean, because it's different than rhinoceros, which is keratin. Rhino tusks are not the same as elephant tusks.
I can't believe
elephant tusks are ivory, and rhinoceros tusks are protein, basically the same thing as fingernails and hair.
This is like the equivalent of when I knew the names of the models on Price is Right.
And you're like, yeah. And I'm like, how the fuck do you know that shit?
And you're also like,
feels
why?
Because me, I'm like, this is common knowledge. Everybody knows this.
Keratin.
Well, we have different areas of expertise. And isn't that great?
It is great. It is great. But like, I just think, where would you even read that? The rhinoceros.
It's a popular trivia question, I think. What are the horns
tusks
of rhino? No, different. Horns of rhinoceros. Different than a tusk. I also now don't know about walruses. I think that might be teeth or so, because I think narwhal is like teeth, right?
Ew. What's that? Calcium?
Probably. And ivory, maybe, yeah, that is a good question. I think it's only from elephants.
Yeah, because people really seem to want those things.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome though that they're going to basically eliminate this resource.
Jokes on you, poachers.
Yeah, fucking
no
losers.
More. Right, losers. Exactly.
Fuck.
So,
can you imagine killing an elephant?
No.
I guess they're poor. A lot of these, not the white people that go and do it for fun, but like the locals that do it.
Well, and I think it's desperation and lack of education, because there are wonderful groups out there of people who are native to that are protecting these elephants.
They're like, please stop.
And they're like, we hate this. And they are working so hard to save all those elephants. And God bless them.
I can understand, like, if you want to feed your family, you're not going to give a shit about an elephant.
Right. Exactly.
I'll tell you what feeds my family, and that is wild grain bread.
Oh, amen. It's soup season. Hit the soup season.
Okay, wait.
Soup season.
Soup season. I
Which
made
means bread season.
chili. I made chili yesterday, and I baked a loaf of everything sourdough bread. You scoop. It's so good.
Yum. And I really think ciabatta is my new favorite.
Oh, is it? I go through phases. I do.
I go through phases too. Yeah. I'm on a ciabatta kick.
They're all great. So Wild Grain will send you frozen pastas, desserts, all that. And then these loaves of bread. And you just throw them in the oven when you're ready to have dinner. And then they are ready, lickety split. And it is truly like a bakery situation.
Oh, I have yet to find a croissant that will top that croissant. Yeah. Anyway, at any bakery, they're garbage compared to Wild Grain. Wild Grain from my oven. Yeah. And guess what? You can get free croissants in every box.
Yeah, you can. This stuff is so good. They launched a new gluten-free box. Oh, I can't wait to tell my friend Leah. Because like if you have someone in your family that has celiac or whatever, I mean, they're just like desperate for delicious food.
Yes.
Oh, that's exciting. I can't wait to tell her. But anyway, all their stuff is amazing. Are you ready to bring all your favorite carbs right to your doorstep? Be sure to check out Wild Grain so you can begin building your own box of artisanal breads, pastas, and pastry. For a limited time, Wild Grain is offering our listeners $30 off your first box, plus free croissants in every box when you go to wildgrain.com/braincandy to start your subscription. You heard us. Free croissants in every box and a $30 off your first box when you go to wildgrain.com/braincandy. That's wildgrain.com/braincandy, or you can use promo code braincandy at checkout.
Yes. Okay, what else do I have to tell you? This is funny because I'm in this position right now where I have all these wonderful brainy stories that are so like deep and will make you think, and they're based on data, and then I have candy stories, and those are so fun. And what ends up happening is I keep like, I don't know, it's that Halloween season. I just want the fun size, bite size Halloween.
I get it.
Trick or treat,
do some candy. Whatever you want.
I'm going to be sensitive to the situation, of course, but this is the funniest story to me and made me giggle so much. So a man was fined for pretending to be a ghost and shouting "woo" at people in a cemetery.
No.
And okay, now I of course cracked up hearing this because it's so funny. But then I was like, okay, this is so if you're there trying to mourn the loss of your loved one.
Okay, all right, I'll let you
So
finish.
I had questions. Did this take place in AM or PM? Because it matters.
Totally, it does matter.
It totally matters. There are appropriate hours of the day to be visiting.
Spooky.
And then there's spooky. If you're in a cemetery after sundown, somebody might pop out and go, "Woo!" I'm just saying.
Yeah, you're sort of asking for it.
I do feel like at that point you're asking for it.
Yeah.
I feel like the freaks come out at night. The freaks come out at night. Like that.
So, because there's, like, let's say you lost somebody beloved.
Which we've been there. We can both empathize.
Of course.
Yes.
And I have gone to the cemetery.
Yes.
To honor my loved ones in the daytime.
Right.
I am not going after sundown.
Yeah.
Because I do not want someone being spooky.
Yeah. Right.
And scaring me.
So after he was drinking with friends, he was spotted at a Kingston.
This is something we would do.
I know.
Thinking it was so funny.
I was like, I would do this and not even mean to be offensive, but then
You'd be like, what?
and
We're
I
being
think this
funny.
really was because so he was drinking with friends. He was spotted at the Kingston Cemetery playing football, making ghostly noises, prompting
Wait, in Jamaica?
complaints.
Oh, New York.
No, this was I feel like this was in England.
Oh, okay.
Where's Portsmouth?
Where's Kingston?
I don't know. I gotta look it up. Hang on. Ontario,
Canada?
Canada.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is a drunk Canadian.
This is a drunken Canadian who are the friendliest of
and
all.
the ghosts.
Yes. I mean, come on. How much harm
Casper
could he be
was
doing?
probably Canadian.
Yeah, probably. The most friendly.
So this is just like a drunk Canadian. It's like,
Yes.
this is super funny.
And it prompted complaints from witnesses, which sounds like a Karen style reporting to me. It's not like a family that was mourning their loved one complained to that.
Totally.
No, it was like witnesses just called him in for shenanigans.
Who would call the police
I don't
about
know.
a funny guy being spooky?
He was fined $42. I was like,
Okay.
worth it.
Totally
Worth it for the headline and the story. So I kind of
Okay, but
now
what
if
if they
this
were
is like
mourning a
going.
child? Okay, yeah, it takes a dark turn, right?
I
When
know
you
that's what I'm
consider-
saying, but you wouldn't be doing that during that nighttime.
No, don't do
Like-
that. Mourn at home.
You'd be doing that. You know, if it were
Twilight at the latest. Wait, is
You're
that
not-
the morning? When's the nighttime?
no evening,
one?
that's evening. Twilight.
Okay.
Yeah, good. Yeah, you got it. Yeah. So I thought that was very funny.
What's the morning twilight equivalent?
Dawn, daybreak. Oh.
There has to be another word.
No, that is it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, there is something more poetic than that.
Yeah, like I guess it's morning light.
No, it sounds
No.
cooler. Well, now I got to know. Hang on a sec. Okay, the morning equivalent to twilight is dawn,
Oh, that's not cute.
which is the period of time before sunrise when sun's light first appears. I think it's
They
pretty.
need it better. It's okay, but Twilight's better.
It just sounds more fun because it sounds twinkly.
Yeah.
Dawn
Right.
but that dawn sounds like what it is. It's like something rising.
Okay.
You know, like
Yeah, I
it
shouldn't
feels
fight
like
it.
and twilight feels like it's like slowly going away.
Yeah, it's
twinkly, twinkly,
trickling.
fading into the distance.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
All right.
it is
Fair enough.
weird that
I shouldn't try to change it.
It feels and looks so different those two times of day. It's
Yeah.
kind of like I've recently seen this floating around social media, and I've tested it myself, and it's totally true that humans can tell the difference between hot and cold water being poured. Oh, Susie, you don't know about this yet. Test it at home. Lincoln's going to love this.
Are you serious?
Yes, and you absolutely can tell, and you know instinctively, oh yeah, that's hot water. It's very
What's
fun
the
to do.
difference?
There's a it's
Because
almost
this is about the molecular
it's got to be how
behavior.
it's got to be how it's flowing and the sound it makes. It's almost like cold water makes more of like a glug glug chugging noise, and warm water, hot water is more of a flow.
Wow.
I don't know how to describe it, but you
Well,
know
'cause
the difference.
Isn't it the case that hot water's molecular behavior is fast and
Yes,
furious,
correct.
and
Yes.
then cold is slower? And so,
Glug
like,
glug.
but glug glug versus phonetic.
Yeah, you can hear it.
I'm gonna test it.
Yeah, do it. Well, you got that kettle. You're gonna and blindfold your hubby and Lincoln and just pour it and say which one.
That's
and then
so
have them hold
cool.
up like a little thing. One for hot, one for cold. This could be a whole
Okay.
thing.
Yeah. Okay.
So
it's a whole
test it at
thing.
home. Look, I
I'm
didn't even write this
sorry.
down. This wasn't even meant to be
Sarah,
part of
that's
my.
really interesting.
It's very fun to test, and you will know. And it is like a knowing that the room is hot versus the room is cold.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I just
Okay.
know that.
Thank you for
So
sharing that.
fascinating. Okay, woo woo, got that. What else? Oh, this is kind of interesting. We've mentioned this before, but I never knew what it was. And it was this article that said, have you ever noticed how it's easier to hold your breath longer underwater than it is to hold your breath out of the water?
Yes.
And I know that to be true, but I never really knew why. And it's something that you introduced me to, which is the mammalian dive reflex.
Tell me.
Do you remember this? You taught me about this. We learned about this, oh my God, so long ago when we talked about something about dipping your head under the water and it calms the body down, and that's why we splash water on our face.
Yeah,
things like that. So it's been like I've heard of what it is, but I didn't know like actually physiologically what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
So this is this built-in feature that we share with all mammals. And it's this response that kicks in as soon as we're submerged in water, specifically when we get our face wet. So exactly like you had introduced me to years ago. And it's from this, the trigger is this thing called the trigeminal nerve, or trigeminal, I think geminal, TRIGEMINAL, trigeminal nerve. And it's the same nerve that's responsible for all of our facial sensations. So it detects water on the face. It signals the body to basically activate a reflex. It's this nerve that we have central to the face, and creates, as soon as this nerve is triggered, it creates this like rapid cascade of effects of physiological changes. So as soon as it happens, heart rate slows down, which is called bradycardia, and we start to conserve oxygen. Blood flow is then restricted and redirected to vital organs like the brain and the heart to make sure that they have enough oxygen. The spleen then contracts, releasing oxygen-rich blood cells into circulation. What? All from splashing cold water on my face? Are you kidding me?
You know, that just my own personal observation of how this might apply is if my husband gets migraines, and he is one of those people that gets it with like the aura. So like his visual stuff is messed up and he sees like this weird thing in his eyeball, eyesight. And he splashes cold water on his face and in his eyes to prevent like a full-blown migraine. And it works most of the time. And I bet you it's related to what you're saying, where all those
blood flow redirected to vital
triggered.
Organs. Yeah. And if you think about that, like migraines are maybe like pressure or certain like blood.
Because that's what they say, that it's blood.
Yes.
It's constricted.
Yes.
Yeah. So like the medicine that we have is a triptan, and the triptans open up those vessels.
Which is interesting that it's the same first letters as this trigeminal nerve or whatever. It, of course, is like, it makes total sense. And it redirects it to vital organs. Like
that's really interesting.
And it makes sense when you put it together. Like, we need to do these kind of things. And I think knowing this kind of stuff is so helpful. So like the rest of your body doesn't have all those? No. And that's why when people, yes, the cold plunge is so fantastic and great and good for calming us down, but you can get the same effects by dipping your face in a bucket of ice, in like a little bowl of ice water.
Or just getting a quick cold shower.
Yes, a quick cold shower. And it does different things. Of course, if you're doing a cold plunge, say for like inflammation, and you're bringing down inflammation in your body or so like that, then that's different. But if you're looking to just activate this reflex and slow down the heart rate, conserve oxygen, the record for holding your breath underwater, 24 minutes.
Is this fucking David Blaine?
Well, they do a whole bunch. It's not like they're just naturally doing it. They replace their oxygen with, or their CO2 like with pure oxygen. Like they breathe pure oxygen and fill their body with that, so they're able to hold their breath for longer. They have to do more before, like if they're...
Who's they?
I don't know. People who are competitively holding their breath, which is wild.
Okay. So you don't think he's the winner?
David Blaine?
Yeah. I actually thought he might be because remember he went on this whole annoying tear where he went on Oprah in a tank and was like attempting at that time, I guess, to beat the world record. But it's a Croatian man.
24 minutes. Budimir Sobiet holds the Guinness World Record for the longest breath held underwater at 24 minutes and 37.36 seconds. He's a professional breath hold diver trained for 3 years to achieve this record. Before attempting the record, he hyperventilated with pure oxygen for up to 30 minutes. So I think that is the difference because David Blaine he just holds his breath and he's endurance. The mentalist and it's different.
This guy is actually hijacking his own body.
This is gonna also blow your mind. Didn't even know this fact. Get ready. Kate Winslet holds the record for longest breath held on screen by a lead actor at 7 minutes and 15 seconds.
No way.
She achieved this record while filming Avatar: The Way of the Water. What?
That's not possible.
What? Why aren't we talking about that more?
Well, especially like right now when we have microphones and this is just like dead air, but it's because I don't know what to say because that can't be true.
The science of holding your breath. There's a whole bunch of articles about this. How could Kate Winslet stay under? Oh my gosh. How could Kate Winslet stay underwater for over 7 minutes in Avatar 2? That's from the Conversation article. Like this is a whole.
She's amazing.
She really fucking is.
But
I mean, she's so beautiful.
She's pretty much perfect because she's funny and smart and all that too.
Look at that. That is her training. And I'm going to have to watch that video of her like coming up for air.
I'll tell you what has the record for creating the most hair on my body, and that's Nutrafol.
Well, that's for sure.
And they don't recognize that award, but they should, because let me tell you, as many of you know.
We can say that Nutrafol gets all the awards, and it is given all the recognition from all the dermatologists and everybody. Yes. So yes, they're getting credit.
Dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand. Okay. I'm sure we have so many listeners who either have like hormonal issues, they have a baby, or they're stressed or whatever, and they feel like their hair is looking thinner. Well, I know how you feel because a couple years ago, some hooker caused a nightmare on my head and all my hair fell out. And so Nutrafol had to come in and do its duty. And look at all this.
I mean, look at that. Look at that high pony.
For real, because you wouldn't believe it.
No, I'm sorry, but you had no hair left. I remember.
It was like teeny tiny.
Oh, and then watching it come back has like been.
I know, it's still growing.
Helped me.
But like, look at
all that. It looks so healthy
and luscious. Yes. Get results you can run your fingers through. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter promo code BRAINCANDY. Find out why over 4,500 healthcare professionals and stylists recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code BRAINCANDY. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code BRAINCANDY. I was looking at a clip you posted for This Changes Everything with your glasses, and the hair. Your hair was just like a mane, like a lion's mane.
I'm telling you, Nutrafol.
You're a lucky gal.
And now I just, it's one of those things that I've been taking for so long that I've now kind of forgot that I just take it on the regs, it's just in my normal, like
routine.
You throw 4 vitamins in your mouth every morning, my little thing. But I'm starting to see it
looks so good. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's jealous. It's so annoying, but I'm happy for you.
Oh, thanks, Suze. Well, I just take care of it.
Yeah, I guess.
No. Okay. What else do I want to talk to you about? This is fun. Also, hey, you want to make $3 million? I have a solution.
Okay,
all we have
let's
to
hear
do is win NASA's new competition,
Okay.
which is the LunaRecycle Challenge. So NASA
You
is
love
looking.
recycling.
I didn't even think about that. Now all I have to do is figure out how to do it in space.
Okay,
So,
what do they want to know?
NASA is seeking solutions to recycle inorganic waste like food packaging, clothing, and science experiment material. So this is the number one problem that we have, really, is, okay, you're going to get everything up there, but what the hell do we do with all of our waste? We have to create things that, I don't know. Well, NASA is saying we need to shift our focus. There needs to be a shift in focus in how we even think about trash and think about waste. And they're looking to high school students and young kids to help with this. And I think because it's like the thinking outside of the box. I think once you get to, I don't know, maybe the place when you're working at NASA, you've already, your ideas are limited to what you learned in NASA, like the textbooks. The status quo in a way. Mm-hmm. And so they are opening this up to everyone and offering $3 million for innovative ways to recycle. They want to build hardware to recycle solid waste streams on the moon. And then there's two ways to win. There's the prototype build track, which is design and build hardware, the actual hardware itself, to recycle solid waste streams on the moon. Or this other track they call the digital twin track, which is create a virtual model of a recycling system for the moon. So they're saying you're a computer scientist, great. You're a what the hell is my brother? A mechanical engineer, great. Figure it out, because we have no idea. And here's $3 million.
I don't feel like we're going to win this one.
I don't think so, Susie. I don't think all of the Earth is going to win this. And I was thinking about... We haven't
even figured out how to recycle like our 2-liter bottles.
I know. That I really think that the future needs to be only organic matter.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about this with... My mom lives in Costa Rica, where they're often hit by hurricanes, and a lot of the places use natural materials that there's almost this understanding that, it's going to be washed out and then we'll like rebuild it next. It's just how it goes. Yeah, like
an assumption about the impermanence.
Yes, in a way. And it feels like the future has to be organic material used for building, because where are we going to put all the trash?
Honestly, I know.
What are we going to do?
It gets depressing if you think
really
about it too much. Yeah. Because they've done a terrible job. And by they, I mean like corporations and then governments not like legislating around that.
Right.
And so it's just been left up to, hey, don't use a straw. Like, that ain't it.
That's not it. Right. That's what I'm saying. We need to create different materials. I think that's it. I think the future is going to be looking at, and this is where I feel like the ocean and all those holds the answers, where it's like, I need like plastic made from seaweed, which, you put in to this material and it liquefies or something. I don't know. I am just shooting from the hip here. Obviously not going to win that $3 million. But I'm just glad that they're offering the prize because this happens. I think it's 3M who does this contest every year. And it's always some kid who's like invented a new way to detect cancer by just like spitting on this little strip that's going to make 3M literally billions of dollars. And the kid gets like a plaque,
the prize money,
and sometimes they get a scholarship or sometimes they get a grant or, whatever. But oftentimes the things that get submitted become property of the contest that you submit them to.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And now they own that.
Right.
So I like when they come with a big old, here's the prize, and it's like set up like that, not like the high school genius award and here's your
here's your local newspaper clipping.
Yeah. Like fuck
no,
that.
Thank you.
No thank you.
Yeah, right.
Okay. What else? Did I already talk to you about the brain scans of teenagers after COVID?
No.
Oh, okay. This is one of those brainy ones that I've been holding on to for a while. So this was a study that was from the University of Washington that examined adolescent brain development before and after COVID lockdown. And the findings were very interesting. They showed that girls' brains aged significantly faster than expected.
I'm not
especially
surprised.
compared to boys.
Yeah.
Scans taken in 2021 revealed that both boys and girls experienced rapid cortical thinning, cortical thinning. So it's kind of like the synaptic pruning that happens that, all of those synapses light up. And then as we age, it's like the brain goes in there and like snips the one that we don't need. So they looked at that cortical thinning that happened. And during lockdown, girls showed an average acceleration of 4.2 years ahead of expected rates compared to 1.4 years for boys.
Oh, man.
Whoa.
What do they speculate is the reason for that differential?
That cortical thinning, normal part of brain maturation, and its acceleration can be linked to stress and associated with increased depression and anxiety. And they're saying that this being socially deprived impacted girls more due to their reliance on social interactions for stress relief. That we have conditioned girls are
More
more inclined to use social interactions, where boys are using more physical interactions or things like that as stress relief. And the areas
Are you surprised? Because these bozos were already like on their phones all day anyway. Like, I don't know what was so different, to be honest with you, about.
I think it shows the importance of socializing for teens. I think there's a reason why teens are that, like, they get that reputation of like, oh, the teens hanging out at the mall or whatever. Like they're like love to travel in packs and hang out together. And I think that this is showing the evolutionary reasons for that. That socialization and being in groups is really important on forming, I don't know, those social bonds. It said that they saw accelerated thinning across 30 brain regions in girls, particularly in areas associated with facial recognition, emotional processing, and language comprehension. And in boys, they only showed accelerated thinning in two areas, visual processing, two areas that were both linked to visual processing. That they don't really know, though.
That's so sad.
It really is sad. It said that there's an uncertainty about whether the accelerated changes are permanent or if the brain development could normalize with the restoration of like social interactions post-pandemic. But they really don't know that this getting cut off from social connection and that peer-to-peer, like daily interaction, aged girls' brains significantly.
What a bummer.
And I think that there's no way that can't have some effects on maybe differences in genders in school the next year.
Yeah.
women feeling and those girls feeling frustrated that they can't communicate in the same way with those boys, or they're ahead, or like, that it's aging their brain, but also maturing the brain in a way that is kind of leaving behind those young males.
Yeah. The other day when I posted that just throwback photo from our first Brian Wilson show, I was looking at Lincoln in the photo because he looked so young, of course. But then I realized it was from 2019, which to me doesn't feel like a long time ago, because
right, not at all.
We've been in a time warp.
Yep.
And so to look at the size of that boy and this person who now outweighs me by 30 pounds.
Yeah. Oh God. I remember that moment for my mom.
Like, that's 30 pounds. He's 30 pounds heavier than me. And I'm like, and I'm holding him in that photo.
Right.
And it's just like, man, it really just struck me how weird the last 4 years have been.
And the studies show it.
What a
the
bummer.
brain scans show how bizarre it is. And we don't really have explanations. Yeah.
Or solutions.
Or solutions.
Right.
This was a cohort of 160 children that were initially measured in 2018. And the follow-up was done in 2021 after lockdowns. And they allowed...
What do they mean by lockdown? Like, I never know exactly what people mean when they say that.
I think
I was in my bunker for like...
It was the time when school was canceled, everything, like before everybody went back to school.
Right. Okay, well, then
they actually were on lockdown.
Yeah.
You know?
Because I had to, teach him at home for a whole year.
Yeah. And they compared that against typical adolescent brain development, and 4.2 years of aging in that one, really, in those 2 years.
Did you say for boys it was what?
1.4 years of acceleration.
That's bonky.
I know. And then you're think about how ahead girls are in emotional skills, and now we've aged the girls' brains 4.2 years and the boys only 1.4 in a period of 4 years, whatever it is, or 3 years. That there's going to be a gap.
Looks like, the boys will keep dating girls that are way younger than them.
Oh my God. Which is exactly what I see on Love is Blind.
For real?
Oh my God. This season of the United States, the U.S. Love is Blind.
Tell me right now.
Oh my God, Susie. The women are so much more...
What is wrong with
the
men?
women are well-rounded. The women they've done the work. The men are liars. You find out that they have children they didn't tell them about. They are lying and talking just liars.
Stop.
I can't get enough. It is my current
You're kidding
fixation.
me.
Yeah, it is. And the women are, oh God.
Are the men interested in these women?
You can see the men are interested in the idea of the women. And then I notice the men who are clearly self-sabotaging because they, somewhere deep in some part of them, they recognize that they do not have the ability to match what these women are bringing to the table. And so they do dumb shit. They self-sabotage, send text messages to the ex and then get caught doing it. And it's like, okay, we know, I can see it. I really regret not going live and just giving my play-by-play and doing Sarah's commentary. I might do that for the new episode comes out, or next. I might do that soon. Just give my Just go live
Do
and
it.
get the therapist take. Because I'm like, oh my God, I could read these people like a book. The men especially, they are so obvious.
Wow. Thank you for your insights today. It really ranged.
Yeah.
Which I love.
Wide range. We were all over the place.
I love that. It was like Love is Blind, but then also elephant tusks slash
evolution happening right before our eyes.
Then a man pretended to be a ghost in a cemetery. And then hot water and cold water sounded different.
Oh, yeah.
Then we learned that like just splashing water in your face is like some sort of weird evolutionary hack.
Yes.
Then we learned that Kate Winslet is a superhero, which we already knew, but like even more.
Right. Record holder.
And then we learned teens are not okay. The kids are not all right.
The kids are not all right. Yeah, we really were all over the place today.
Good job, Sarah.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, Suze. Just trying to bring the brain, bring the candy, do what I can.
Well, you did it, as always.
Journalism.
I hope we're award-winning.
Journalism. Yeah, me too. Fingers crossed.
Anyway, we love you. Don't forget to check out thebraincandypodcast.com if you need our codes. That helps us because otherwise we'll have to get real jobs. It'd be so weird.
No.
And go to patreon.com/braincandy if you want our reality TV content. We love you. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
These days, work is in trouble. We've outsourced most of our manufacturing to other countries, sending away good jobs and our capability to make things. American Giant is pushing back against that tide. They make the high-quality clothing staples you need for a comfortable, stylish, and active summer wardrobe, like vintage-style tees, breathable polos, lightweight sweatshirts, and so much more, right here in the USA. So when you buy American Giant, you create jobs in towns and cities across the country, and jobs bring pride, purpose. They stitch people together. Support America's workers and get 20% off your first order at american-giant.com with promo code STAPLE20. That's 20% off your first order at american-giant.com, code STAPLE20.